How's it going, guys? Mark Bursteiner here with Mark Bursteiner's YouTube channel. That's where you're watching this, I think. But I thought it would be a good time to start to talk a little bit about Star Wars The Force Awakens. I finally had the opportunity to see it this past Christmas Eve. My wife and I went to a really dope theater, actually, but I had an absolute blast. If you know anything about me, you know that I've been looking forward to this quite a bit, as have most of the people in the world. But we had so much fun, and I just had to share this with you guys. So, first up, the characters. I adored this cast of characters. They are so utterly likable. Even Kylo Ren is so much fun to watch as he breaks down. You feel attached to these people, and when they win, you're winning. And when they're having fun, you're having fun. And I think the best example of this in the entire cast was Rey. Rey is maybe the strongest female character I've seen in a big Hollywood blockbuster like this, maybe ever. I think the only counterpart she might have in the industry is Furiosa from Mad Max Fury Road. Rey is such a terribly strong female character. Even when she's captured, she finds her own way out. She's never a damsel in distress. She's always moving the plot forward. She's always just trying for what she wants, and it's still such a visceral experience for you to be able to see and understand what she feels. But Rey is not the only one I really love. Finn is such a great example of a person that you have no reason to care about that somehow makes you care about them. He's just a guy who was a stormtrooper, and it's typical, again, hero's journey. Starting from very little, working your way up, finding your muse or your old guy in the woods. And for Finn, that was a few people, and he turned into this incredibly likable guy who was just finding himself right before our eyes. And that's to say nothing of Poe, a phenomenal strong character right in the first 20 minutes who's just a riot to be around. That's to say nothing of BB-8, who winds up with a phenomenal relationship with C-3PO and R2-D2, who really has easily become one of my favorite robots on the planet. The cast of characters in The Force Awakens is just fantastic. Now, the pacing was a little bit weird. I found that there were a few spots that I almost wanted to look at my watch and see what time it was, but of course I didn't. I'm in the middle of a Star Wars movie, come on. But when I did find myself doing that, I found that it was just a little bit too much. Too much of the kind of old way of doing things, the very typical trope of just things taking a long time and running into a room and hitting a control switch. You know, obviously those things are tropes that we're going to see anyway, just wish the pacing had sped up just a little bit here and there. Overall, though, the pacing was pretty darn fantastic. A lot more happens in it than normal Star Wars movies, and by normal I mean the original trilogy, and in terms of what else is out there right now, it's really refreshing to see this take on such a tried and true property. It's a really new, brave world now for Star Wars. Yes, there was a lot of stuff in The Force Awakens that felt a lot like old Star Wars. There was a lot of things that made it feel a little bit more like a reboot than an honest-to-goodness sequel, but I really think that's okay. My friend Justin Robert Young has been talking about this a lot on Twitter, and I tend to agree with him when he talks about movies and things like that. Whenever we talk about shows, Walking Dead, whatever it is, we're usually on the same page. And Justin was saying that this is the right time to do this kind of movie. This is the segue. This is the first time we see Star Wars in its new iteration. This is, to me, just how it was in 2005 when Doctor Who came back on the air. The first year of Doctor Who was a little bit campy. It felt a lot like old school Doctor Who did, but you need to. The right amount of fan service goes a really long way. And you know what? They nailed it with The Force Awakens. I am thrilled to live in an era when we get to go to the movies and not have a binary conversation about whether Star Wars was good or bad, but we get to have an actual fleshed out conversation about where this universe is going to go. I cannot wait to see what the kids who grow up with this generation of Star Wars are going to look like when they're my age. And by look like, I don't mean like with costumes or anything, but just in terms of entertainment. It's such a great thing to have out in the cosmos, and I'm very proud as a Star Wars fan to be able to tell people to go see The Force Awakens as soon as you can. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to talk a little bit more, feel free to leave what you think in the comments down below. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to them, and you can feel free to throw as much hate at me as you want, because I can take it. Anyway, again, thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.